Hello everyone and welcome to today's stream. Today we are joined by Amy and Sofía, wonderful filmmakers that won the Audience Choice Award at the Spring Showcase this year. So we'll be playing both their films muted, and there'll be lots of opportunities for you to ask our filmmakers any questions in the chat room, so do make sure to say hello and ask away in there.
Why don't you guys introduce yourselves, so sort of tell us a little bit about your filmmaking to date, where you're based, that sort of thing.
Hi, everybody. My name's Amy E. Powell. I am a filmmaker from Chicago. I started out as an actor. Actually, I went to acting school, and I think that if I had known that I could be a director instead, maybe I would have gone to film school. But for some reason, I just didn't know that as a young person. But I think my acting career has really informed my filmmaking, and that has taken me into producing short films, directing short films, producing commercials, which is what I do now, and finishing up the series of Bare Naked Truths from the Observed Observer. We actually filmed 10 episodes, and I've got 3 to show today. So this summer I'm going to be focusing a lot on finishing up the other 7 episodes, which is kind of a beast, but I'm very excited.
Amazing. When we watch your film, let's talk about your whole transition from an actor to director. It's something that I find very interesting because it's similar to my route as well.
Oh, wow. Awesome. Yeah.
Cool. And Sofía?
Yeah, so I'm Sofía Isabella, and I've actually been interested in directing since I was quite young. My sister, she's younger than me, and she's wanted to be an actor since growing up. She's loved acting. So we'd always made short films or mini music videos or performances for my family and stuff. And I just really I was shy. I was always really shy, and I hated drama at school, everything. So I just like being behind the camera, behind the scene, just directing it all. And then I was when I went to choose my GCSEs, which was obviously the exams in the UK, I was I'm probably going to have to do drama, just because, to be a director, it's good to know what you're doing, as in directing the actors.
Yeah.
And I was but I hate drama. I'm scared. I don't want to do that. But then I was do you know what? I need to do it. I want to be a director, so I'm gonna go for it. And then I did it, and I ended up loving drama as well. And then I took drama for A-level as well.
Nice.
And then my plan was to go to uni. So I got an unconditional offer at in UAL to do film. But then I decided to defer the year, which ended up being quite lucky because then COVID hit. So I just should have mentioned that this has been my first year since leaving high school. And then I was I'm going to use this year instead to focus on my own personal projects. And then that's when Psychological Lover became a thing. And then I used lockdown to kind of perfect the script, even though it had been ready to film before, and then it was delayed for 3 months. But I just perfected it even more, to be honest with you. So
This is amazing because we hear a lot of, there's 2 sides, and obviously there's no right or wrong answer, but we do hear some people who say there's no better way to learn than just getting up and doing it. Film school can be great and it can bring a whole wealth of advantages, but no better way really than to just get out and learn as you go, is there?
Absolutely.
So that's really cool to hear that that's how it came about. Well, okay, really looking forward to diving into both of these more extensively. So let's start with Amy.
Yes, let's start with Amy.
So what we're going to do is we're going to pop on Bare Naked Truth here. You're going to see that screening. And Amy, I guess the most obvious place to start is where did the whole concept come from?
Well, the whole concept came from my fellow actor and college classmate, Ellen DeSitter. And Ellen has been a model, an actual real life model, for a very long time. And she just encountered many awkward, interesting,
I'm sure she did.
sometimes problematic interactions with people due to the job, and wanted to make a web series out of it. So she brought it to me, and originally we had a 10-minute episodic pilot we wanted to shoot, and we actually did shoot a few scenes from that. And it's really funny. There was a puppet involved actually that kind of reacted to her thoughts, but that became just a little larger than we wanted to do. And at the time I was a new filmmaker. Ellen had never done any film stuff before as far as like producing. So we were like, we want to shoot something that is small, is specific, and something that we can really finish, that isn't going to have a ton of dialogue and take up all of this time in post. So we settled on doing these like little vignette style sketch videos of just moments the models are going through and different funny scenarios. Like in this first one, all of the models are struggling with needing to go to the bathroom and what it's like to have to sit there and like, oh gosh, I hope nothing terrible happens to me right now while I'm modeling. I'll have to be still for the next 10 minutes. So that's where it was born from. It was Ellen's brainchild, and then we put it together, and it was born into what it is today.
So why web series? Is it because you know that this is a really popular form now, or was it sort of the content that informed that decision, or just practicality, like you said, you wanted to do something that was feasible on sort of budget and time and all of that? Because we're big fans of web series here at Lift Off.
Absolutely.
And our co-founders love the format as well.
Yeah, that's a good question. A combination of all three. I mean, it started off actually as a series of monologues. So Ellen and I are both actors, like I mentioned, and it started off with monologues, and then we kind of wrote the action around it. And it just became clear, like, each monologue was its own little episode, and it would be short, something that people can consume really easily. That, like I said, didn't take a lot of time to finish. We actually didn't didn't record any sound. So that expedited the whole process of production. Just web series seemed to be the answer to it. Because, like, it doesn't really work as a short film of like, we couldn't capture all of the experiences. Oh, there's Colin. Colin's right there. He's in the chat right now. Thanks, Colin. But yeah, so we settled on web series, and I think we're really happy with the little versions that came out.
Yeah, for sure.
Amazing. So we have just hit the credits our side, which disappears. That was so quick. So
I know, it's so fast.
So we're going to move back over to the screen where you can see us all larger when the credits start rolling, and then we'll delve further into your film. There is a question here from Colin, actually, so we'll start with that when we move back over. So he asks, can you speak about having an intimacy choreographer on set?
Absolutely. It was first and foremost super important to us to keep the actors safe during this production, because they were nude, and we wanted everyone to be absolutely the most comfortable, the most safe that we could possibly be. So we brought in an intimacy coordinator, and they did most of the communication to the actor while being nude on set, and we're just an advocate for the actor on set. So if they were to be uncomfortable for any reason, anything were to go wrong, that person was there to just solely represent the actor and make them feel like they had a person that they could go to no matter what if they felt unsafe. Which was really great.
And it's increasingly popular now, and I read an interesting article after Bridgerton came out, and they were saying that they used obviously an intimacy coach for a lot of their scenes, and people are sort of saying this should just be the norm now. Especially in today's era, I think we've learned lessons, and that should just be as common as having someone who's choreographing fight scenes.
Absolutely.
So that's really cool. Yeah. Well, it looks beautiful as well, as we saw.
Yes. What was it shot on?
It was shot on a Blackmagic cinema camera, 2K, so it's a bit older. And then we used, what was the lenses? I wrote it down. Cinema Primes, Canon Cinema Primes for the lenses.
Nice.
And it's actually, we had pretty much all DIY equipment. We had like 2 PVC pipes on stands that we rolled the camera down to get some of the sliding shots.
Well, they look very smooth. They look perfect.
I'm so glad.
They do.
I think you made an excellent point there by using a slightly older version of that camera. I'm sure you saved a lot of money if you hired it from a rental house to do so, which is a good way if you're starting out as a filmmaker. Don't always go for the best, although you want the best. Look for the alternatives and save some money on your productions.
Absolutely. I actually own that camera because that was an investment I made early on in my career so that I could just pick it up and go film whenever I wanted.
Amazing.
Which is like, has pros and cons. I think, you know, the rental house option is so great as well. And then also choosing a camera that's not the top quality camera, because honestly, I don't think audiences really notice the difference in quality as far as like pixels and whether you're in 1080, 2K, 4K, 6K.
Who has an 8K TV anyway?
Does it exist? I don't even know.
Not long.
Yeah, I know it'll be very soon. But so yeah, we definitely saved money in that regard because we chose to invest in renting lenses, really nice lenses, to support the like lesser quality camera, and then you still get a really crisp, beautiful image.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, this is something for Sofía, actually. I don't know if you have your own equipment, but there's a rental house called Movie House, which are based on the lot at Powell Studios, and they are absolutely brilliant with upcoming filmmakers. So I would highly recommend reaching out to them if there's any specific equipment that you're looking for.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I've used, I know about Fat Llama. I don't know if any of you...
So I was looking at Fat Llama the other day for a Bolex, like an old film camera. They had some on there. They're quite good prices. Yeah,
they're quite good prices, but traveling to loads of different, like, you know, the travel is a bit long, but you got to do what you got to do. Exactly. So, okay, I'll look at Movie House.
Movie Tech.
I'll have a look at that.
Yeah.
Movie Tech. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Movie House are a distributor though. So have a look at them once you've made your film.
Okay.
Okay, back to Amy. So how long was the shoot? How many days were you?
2 days.
2 days.
2 days. So 10 episodes, 2 days.
Wow.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
But like I said, we didn't record sound, and the actors don't have to. And the actors didn't have to move. So like, it was really doable. I would have liked to have 3 days, but 2 days, it was workable. We got everything we needed, and now it's the post-production, the other 7 episodes that will be taking up a while, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. What would you say is the biggest takeaway from this exercise?
Creative collaboration. I'm a big fan of using a very small team to its like extent. So having people who are just really good at what they do, or passionate about being on set with you, and who are willing to go above and beyond. And that's absolutely what we had. And I think our series is more nuanced, more specific, just more full because of that reason, because I tried to make it on set so that everybody felt comfortable enough to have an opinion, to have a voice, to try something out. In fact, all of our artists are sketchers. They were all real artists who showed up to be there to help us out. And some of them end up sort of becoming supporting characters because they were just so funny and brought so many good ideas to the table. At the end of the episode that just played, that like pan over of the 3 sketching artists, the woman at the very end, Nettie, she was so funny, and she does that like look off as the model leaves, and you know, she just naturally kind of brought that herself, and she didn't have any acting experience, but I think because we created a space for everyone to feel heard and to feel like they were contributing, it gave space for creativity like that to just like organically shine.
It's funny that you say that, because this week Natalie and I have really been talking a lot about professional actors versus non-professional, and how there's pros and cons to both, but so much really nice little unrehearsed things can come out of non-professional actors, which if you're on a really low budget or a micro budget, then that can be something to really harness as a positive to come from it. So it's nice to hear a real life example of that.
Exactly.
Absolutely. That is definitely, I believe that so much, that non-actors can really bring a unique,
for sure,
unique presence to your film. I find that they don't think so much about it,
or
like
overact.
A trained actor might.
Yeah, exactly. So a trained actor has theatre training, they'll come with this big performance and it just isn't believable on the screen. So I do think it is really hard for trained actors to learn or to have those skills of theatre and put them into film.
Yeah, especially transferring theatre to film, and that's where I learned. I was a theatre actor and transitioned into film a bit later. And, that's something that I think sometimes theater actors struggle with, is like dialing down the performance a little bit, because when you're on a stage, it has to be so big and open and expressive to reach the back of the theater.
Yeah.
And then on a film, it's about the details and the intimacy of your face, especially for Bare Naked Truths, because we're just like close up on people's face the whole time. So those like micro expressions became so important for this specifically.
Yeah.
So Ellen has asked a question, and we did talk about this, but just to clarify and to answer the question, how long did it take to shoot the whole series?
Yeah, 2 days, just 2 days.
So then what's the plan? Where are you planning on releasing this series?
So we will release online once it's finished. As far as exactly how, I don't have that plan worked out yet, because we want to do a second season where we do actually get a chance to get to know the models a little bit more and record some dialogue, record some more interaction between them, make it more episodic and less like vignette sketch eventually.
Okay. So
we call this our teaser season. You introduce the models and some of the problems and the issues that they're going to go through. So once we finish that, we'll release online and then use that release to fuel us into the next season and do a crowdfunding campaign, things like that.
So where are you going to release it online? Do you have a plan?
That's a good question. I've been procrastinating on that plan. So I don't have a plan. To be honest, I don't have a plan yet.
Sure.
That's something that Ellen and I have to work out.
Yeah, there's lots of really good examples of web series being released on Vimeo. Because you can say out of the 10, the first 6 are free, and then you have to pay $1 to see the final 4 episodes. It's a good way to get some money back and hook your audience in.
Absolutely.
We've seen a lot of good examples of that. But then
people have done it on YouTube as well, so it depends if you've already got an audience anywhere. Yeah, got to sort of weigh it all up. But I'm sure however you do it, it will be wonderful. And we look forward to seeing it. You'll have to sort of send us the links and stuff, and we can send it out. That'll be cool.
There's a few smaller distribution people in Chicago as well. Chicago's a really great filmmaking community. It's very supportive, very intimate, and so we might explore some of those like local distribution options as well.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
that's a really great way to sort of like start building a relationship for them when you said you want to expand either the same concept or a different one. Amazing. Again, we were speaking with someone earlier this week who's released 3 feature films with the same distributor. Because he had that relationship to keep going back. They liked his style, they liked what he did, they worked well. So it's always useful to be building those contacts.
Absolutely. Relationships you build, networking, so important. That's the other big thing that I like to tell people is just like network, meet everybody, have something to offer them,
Exactly. Okay, so 2 final questions. What moment was it that you decided that the film industry was the one for you? Was there a particular film or, I don't know, an experience that you went through as a child that made you like, this is it?
I've loved movies since forever. I remember, I'm a big nerd. So the first movie that I like really loved was Star Wars. The Empire Strikes Back specifically. I remember very specifically watching it for the first time. And I just always really loved movies. I never considered anything else. I always knew I wanted to go in that direction. And I think, like I mentioned earlier, I went to acting school because I thought that, like, that's the only road that I had available. I didn't even consider that I could be a writer, director, producer, anything like that when I was young.
It's what you see.
So
yeah.
It's what you see, absolutely. And there weren't any female directors so much. I mean, there were, but they weren't. You didn't see them that often.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then to like really transition into film, it was my fiance. He works on the shows around town in Chicago, and we both were like serving tables together. That's where we met, and just wanted to make a movie. I don't even remember the moment. I just know that we like bought a camera. That was like the first memory I had. Yeah. And we were like, we're gonna do this now, I guess. And that was 5 years ago, 6 years ago now.
Amazing.
And here we are.
So then, final question. Apart from Bare Naked Truth, what's next for you?
Well, I'm getting married on Sunday, actually.
Oh, congratulations.
So, thank you.
So
that's been a big thing. I felt a little bit stalled creatively just because a wedding is such a massive production, and I've been producing that. So I'm writing my first feature, so I really want to get that done this summer. Of course, finishing the rest of the episodes of Bare Naked Truths is very high on my priority list. Got a couple other things in the works. Producing a feature this summer, hopefully, if it gets funded. And then my paying jobs are I do commercial producing. So, but I work with a really great team. Again, like small, intimate, really good people who are happy to be there, which I really feel blessed to have that source of income.
So you are extremely busy.
Yeah, I try to keep busy. I try to seek out people to work with as well, like the creative collaboration. So I'm always like, hey, what are you doing? Can I help out in any way? I might be in a short film in the fall, which is fun, like to go back to my roots, which will be interesting. So lots of things.
Nice. Sophia, is there anything that you'd like to share with Amy regarding her film at all, or shall we move on to yours?
No, I just like to say, like, I did watch, I didn't even realize it was a series at first. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. No, because I was confused. I was like, why does it keep going back to then? I was like, oh, wait, it's just playing me the whole series, like, in a row. But, no, but it's really good. I like the concept of it. Like, I watched it with my family because we were going through some of the ones that were on the list. And then, like, it was cool. Like, I don't know, it was really simple, but like sometimes, like a lot of the time, simple is a lot better than doing too much.
Yeah.
And like, that's actually one thing that I learned with my film. Not learned, but as in, like, I wish I would have changed with my film. Like, I like your obviously your style isn't like mine, but like, as in, I love the minimalism of it. Like, I think it looks really amazing.
We have a motto. It's called KISS. KISS. Yeah. Keep it super simple or
keep it stupid simple.
Keep it stupid
simple. I love that you noticed that, because that's something that I really believe in too, is like simplicity and specificity to making a film, because I think that speaks so much more than like getting too heavy-handed or trying to like really force the metaphor or theme or whatever you're doing into someone's head. So I love that you noticed that. That's great.
Amazing. Well, Amy, definitely stay with us. And if there's anything that you want to sort of join in as we talk about Sophia's, do. But let's go and put Psychological Lover on in the background. Here we go. So tell us where this all began for you, Sophia. You've already said that you were thinking of film school and then that got delayed. So that's why we see the film we see now. But what about the script? Where did it all begin?
Yeah. So Psychological Lover is a pretty personal story to me. And like, I didn't in terms of filming, like, it was never meant to be a film. Like, it was, so I was going through like a lot of personal stuff. And everyone was always like, like people were like, oh yeah, just journal, just write down everything you're feeling. But I was just like, I can't, like, I do that, and then it just, for me personally, it doesn't work. It sounds stupid, right? It's when I read it back, I'm like, what was I talking about? Like, why? And then, so I was like, okay, well, I love writing scripts. Let me just, when I had big like moments, like when I just couldn't get words out, I would just turn it into like a script, like format, and like, with no intention of doing anything with them, like little segments, like. And then after like a few months, so that was like 2019 at some point, I started doing that. And then I was like, I've got loads of random like segments of things, and I was like, this could actually like help, even though I'm like still trying to help myself, like if I try and put it together, maybe it could do something to like help someone else.
Amazing.
And then so I was like, okay, it's about self-harm, right? And I was like, it's a subject that's like, it's touched on, but it's hard to explain. And like, even my film, like Psychological Lover, is a bit confusing until you get to the end, but it's because like self-harm in itself is such a like, it's so confusing to someone that doesn't go through that doesn't deal with that. So I just wanted to like kind of like even like trying to make sense of it for myself. And then I was like, actually it could work, like I could turn it into a film, and like maybe, you know, it will help like one other person, like what, like, you know, why not? So then I started writing the script. I was actually on the plane, and then I was listening to a song, and I got one scene in my head of like which is the party scene that comes a bit later, and she's surrounded by loads of people, and she just by herself, she just feels by herself. And I had that scene like really like strongly like in my head because of that song. I don't even remember what song it was, but and I was like, okay, so I started with that, and then bit by bit I kind of turned it into a storyline, and then so I had the rough script done, and I wanted to start filming it in 2020 March, but that's when lockdown happened. So then I just worked on it, got all the team together. Like I've met some actors, because I do with my partner, we do like music videos and stuff, because he directs as well. So we do like music videos. I've met actors through that, and like we've built like a kind of a team, like a small little team that we like working with.
I wanted to ask you about how you cast these two, so
I
feel like this is a good way into that.
Yeah, okay, cool. Well, so Yara was at a music video shoot, and she was just one of the models there, and she said that she wanted to get like into acting more, and I just trusted her really. I went on her Instagram again, and I was like, you know what, I see her in this role, and she is a really good actor. I already knew that, so I was like, I trust her with it. Like, I don't know, I just had a gut feeling that I would trust her with that role. And then Bertie, I'd met him, which is the actor that plays Odd. I'd met him when I was acting in a really short film, and when I was thinking of that character, he came into my head, and I was like, that's the one. Like, I need him to be this character. Like, you know when you just have that feeling that they're the right person. So that's how I casted them. Then with Sota, the other guy that comes in, he was slightly harder, because I didn't envision him as anything particular, like anyone particular. But then my friend Andre, he actually went to our secondary school, and he wanted to get into acting. Like, he likes acting just like as a hobby. And then I was like, why not? Like, we originally had someone else, but then like something like miscommunication and all of that, so then we got him instead. And then it was amazing. Like, bear in mind, the three actors, the DOP, like my partner, the producer, and then me, like, we only ever met separately, like as a team. The first time we met was on the day before we shot Psychological Lover, just to a run through of like the key scenes. And by the end of the first day of filming, like, we'd finished the first day, we started at like early, like 8, well, not that early, 8, and we finished like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And by like the end of that day, we felt like a family already. Like, the chemistry was crazy. Like, since Psychological Lover, we'd gone out like we'd formed a group of friends, and I feel like that's so like important when you're making a film. Like you need like not just the actors, but like everyone involved like needs to have so much chemistry with each other, like so that it's just vibes on on like it's good vibes on set and stuff, and it's not, you know, like awkward almost, like when it's not like,
and when you find your
in between takes.
And when you find that connection and find your group, you can just keep on making films and working on each other's projects, and you almost become a what's it called? A collective.
Yeah.
A production company. Your own production company.
Yeah.
It's getting hot in here, definitely.
So you've jumped a few steps there, because just one of the things I was going to ask, which is interesting, because you've said you hadn't been to film school at this point, you never intended for this to be a film. What steps are there in the middle that you had to overcome once you've decided this is going to be a film? What was your next step? So you've got your partner who shoots, which is great. I guess turning it into the shooting schedule, bringing people on board. You've said it was a nice small crew. What were the tricky bits before that decision and turning up on set?
I'd say one main thing was like actually like the decision, like even though I decided I want to make it into a film, I was like, I kind of got cold feet. I don't know if you can say that for film, but like I don't know, I was like do I really, like, it's personal, it's really out there, like I don't want to, it's a bit of a vulnerable place to put yourself in, but I was like, no, go for it, like it will be good for me as well, like so I was just like, no, I want to help someone else. And then that's why it's actually turned into like, now I've made an anthology, so that's the first of an anthology series that I've started for mental health.
Amazing.
It's like different. Yeah.
I think we're about to say the same point, but are they all going to be in roughly 20 minutes?
No, we've actually released the second one was released on YouTube 2 weeks ago, I think, roughly, and that one was 10 minutes, and it was about OCD. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. With the way that when we were talking about web series, an anthology is almost the same, because if you go to sales agent or later down the line you're looking to produce something else, you can show your collection of work, and more and more mini series are being released on platforms like Netflix,
even BBC. See things.
So I think it's a really clever way to kind of market yourself as a filmmaker if this is where you'd like to go in the future. So very nice. Who needs film school when you can just
get up and
do it.
So
agreed.
So to come a full circle then, which you kind of answered because you've said you've furthered this project, how did it feel the first time you saw the finished or the first cut?
It was quite emotional. Like I don't really like showing like how emotions and stuff, but like when I watched it all, because to be more like, I was editing it as well, but like once I saw it all like together and everything, it was just like, I was like, wow, we actually did that. Like it was cool to see what we created, like because we're all like upcoming, all the people involved were all like upcoming people in the industry, like no one's big or anything, like we funded it ourselves, like so for us to like make it, like, and we got a really good response as well afterwards, so it was a really good feeling, like. Great.
Yeah.
Do you mind telling us how much or what you managed to fund for it, or put your own funding in?
Well, I had some savings put away for it, so it was probably like, say, 300.
Okay, nice.
Is that?
Wow.
Something like that. Because with equipment wise, one of the people, the DOP for that one, the main DOP, we'd actually met him on a short film shoot literally a week before or 2 weeks before Psychological Lover, and we got along with him really well, and he was like, we just asked him, like, we're making a short film, do you want to come and film it with us? And he was like, yeah, sure. And he had his own equipment, so we filmed it on a Sony A7 III.
Nice.
With a Canon lens, so I don't know much about the camera side, if I'm honest with you, but so we used his equipment, an Atmos Ninja, and just basic lighting and stuff like that. And in terms of costume, like we really just got all we had. Like I made a lot of the costume as well, the main costumes, because you'll see at the end, like there's like because obviously I didn't want there to be any graphic like stuff, but there's like a symbolic costume at some point. I'll point it out when it gets there. Nice. But she's wearing a white shirt, and then I sewed like these beads like as a kind of splash, like red, with like the red beads falling. I can't really explain it that well, but we'll see it. And then it was like representative of it. And then I have plans for the future to like bring that costume back, but different. So for one of them, yeah.
I mean, £300. Well done. Like amazing, amazing. I'm just looking at all of the different locations that we're seeing within this film as well, being like, how, unless you go proper guerrilla style did in some of them, like the public places, I assume you did. But the inside locations, where did you find them? Or how did you get hold of them?
One of them was an Airbnb, which was, I'm not sure, it was like an hour away from Malden. I actually can't remember where it was. But so that was an Airbnb. Then the coffee shop was my mum's friend owns it, so she just let us use it.
Amazing.
Then the streets, obviously.
Yep.
Use the streets. The hall, I work for like an upcoming production company as well, like label company. So they're part of like, they do production, like film, music and all of that, but they also do, they also own like some nurseries, and that the hall was like part of the nursery, so we asked like if we could use that. And then obviously, okay, like we rented the Asteras, the lights as well, which was also that was quite expensive on Fat Llama, but that was probably half of the budget, just the lights.
Yeah. So
but most of the like we didn't, apart from the Airbnb, we didn't pay for any of the locations, which was good because we just asked around.
It really is going back to using who you know, and being a little bit cheeky and seeing what you can do.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I like this question in the chat from Glow Production, who is saying, what motivational words of wisdom do you have for first-time filmmakers like themselves? Which is a nice one, because we talk to a lot of first-time filmmakers.
Go for it.
Honestly, just go for it, because you feel scared to do it for the first time, but once you're there, like you'll realize, like as soon as I was on set for like the first day of Psychological Lover, I just realized this is what I want to do. Like I've done work experiences in offices and stuff, and I was like, no, I already hated that, but I was like, no, this is what I want to do. And like, if you want to be a film director, just go for it, because that's literally all you can do. Like don't waste time. Just, honestly, that's literally it. Just go for it.
Amazing. There is a question here from Victor, which moves on to the next part of this interview. And he says, that was a great first movie, Sophia, tackling a very topical subject. Congrats. What are your plans for the next movie?
Well, the next movie, as I said, was already released.
And that follows on for another question by someone else in the chat room who says, where can I find the second episode of the anthology?
On YouTube.
Yeah.
What YouTube channel should they head to?
It's called Powell Anthology. It's Powell Anthology.
If you get a chance, as we talk, to post it into the chat room, that would be amazing for
you. Yeah, I can send a link. Yeah,
put a link in there as well. So apart from the anthology, is there anything else that you're working on?
No, but right now I'm writing the third episode, which is Depression, and it's going to be a docu-film, and this one is going to be slightly longer, like it'll probably be 40 minutes long, so a long short film. And I'm hoping, because obviously currently we haven't been able to like actually do a live like screening of it, but I'm hoping for Depression I might try and rent out like a hall or something, or try and get it in like one of the, I don't know if you've heard of Bounce Cinema, but they show like loads of short films in it.
Cool. Bounce.
You can apply. Bounce, yeah.
Because we know most of the cinemas in London.
No, I don't think they're new. And they just show short films and stuff, like independent.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, so
where are they based?
I'm not actually sure.
Okay. I'll look it up.
I've never been to it, but they're in London. So
nice.
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing right now, and yeah, I'm excited to do that one because we've got big plans for it, like better equipment, a bigger team,
Amazing.
Yeah, in fact, because for Psychological Lover, we didn't have like a music score. We kind of just put together like it. That's one thing. Like I'd say, like looking back, I would focus on the music a lot more. But for the second film, which is Wrangle, we had a composer, like someone to do the music for us. So they did the whole score, and like it's so much more put together, like in terms, because like I'd never realized I know, but like especially with this, it just shows how much of a difference music makes like to your film. So that was good. So like our team's just getting bigger, and I'm proud of everyone. Like it's so good to like see us all grow together. It's like such a really cool feeling.
And at the moment we can see those beads on the screen. It's coming. It's coming. Yeah. I think we're ever so slightly ahead of you, but yeah. Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, so if you can pop that link into the chat, that would be amazing.
Oh, yeah.
There's a few people that are keen to watch it, which is great. So same question goes to you. Obviously, we spoke a little bit about this in your introduction, but was there a particular film or what was it that made you go, this is the industry I'm working for, apart from working in an office? Because I think a lot of people would want to jump out the window for that.
I'd say I don't think there was a particular film, and I'm not sure if this is the exact moment. But I went quite a few years ago. We went to the Harry Potter studios, like where they show like the behind the scenes and all of that, like the props and everything. And like I don't think that was the exact moment, but that was like one, like I don't know, that feeling that I got being there and like seeing everything. It was weird because I've never been I've never been a really big Harry Potter fan or anything. Like I enjoy the movies, but just being there, like just being surrounded by like actual like props from a film that like I've watched like on TV and stuff. It was so cool. Like I was like, that's so cool. Like imagine working with people. Yeah, it was really magical. Like imagine working with the people that have done this. Like imagine getting to that stage when you have like a whole like studio for your film, like going around the sets and stuff like that. It was wow.
I love that because seeing behind the curtain is in some ways seeing behind the magic rather than just the escapism. And I think that's the difference as film lovers or people who want to work in it. Like you want to see the magic revealed in a way. So that's really cool.
Amy, do you have any questions for Sofía?
No questions. I just really love what you did with the self-harm theme. And I'd watched it when it was still playing in the showcase, and then I watched it again before this, and knowing how it ends the second time, it was so interesting to watch how that theme came out in the dialogue and just in the interactions between the characters. I think self-harm is something that, of all of the mental health issues, it's like one of the ones that we don't talk about at all. And I was just so appreciative that you explored this theme so well. And I loved your opening. I'm such a big fan of like a really punchy opening that's just like boom in your face. And that's what you did. It was so awesome. I liked it a lot.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And then final question from Victor. He was like, what's it like filming with a dog?
Well, she actually almost drowned. It was my dog.
Oh, no.
And we were filming next to the canal. The opening scene and the end scene was next to the canal in Camden Market. Yeah. And my dog, she's my dog, and she was there. And the makeup artist was obviously, she's my friend, and she was just helping out as well. And she was in charge of holding my dog, but she was on the lead. And then there was a duck. She wanted to go chase the duck in the water, so she jumped into the water. And then I just heard her scream my name, and she was like, Sofía, you're like, Luna jumped into the water. And I was like, what do you mean she jumped into the water? I was holding the clapperboard. I threw the clapperboard. It's broke because I was so scared. I was like, oh, my dog can't die. So I ran to it, and then it's fine. She's all good. But like, she's she's a bit too hyper sometimes, but it was she was good. She just needed a lot of treats while she was sitting down.
So she was happy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a really fun note to close on. Thank you both so much for sharing your experiences with us, and thank you everyone who's been following this in the chat as well, and thanks for your questions. We look forward to seeing what's next from you both, the final instalment from Sofía and the rest of the episodes vignettes from Amy.
That's really keep us in the loop. So you may have seen today that the festival hub is migrating over to the network hub, so you'll have access in there forever. So please do sign up and continue the conversation in there, and network with the other filmmakers and get other projects out there, especially because you can see where the other filmmakers are based. It's good to use that tool to reach out, and hopefully they'll be reaching out to you after watching this as well.
Yeah.
On that note, thank you again.
And thank you.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.